Your life experience, good or bad, is a gift when you share it with others. At Taxi Chronicles, we allow real riders with real stories to share their gift. So hopefully this episode will intrigue, enhance or inspire you. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Morning. Yes, we're back with another rider. Another story. Well, today it's not so much of a story, it's more of an education lesson. There's many people who have been trading out there, doing their own personal things, and now we're going to hear from a real trader. He's coming all the way from France, yes, our cousins overseas, that little channel there, and he's going to talk to us about how he got into the industry, why he's in the industry, what motivates him, and generally what a typical day is like. So nice to have you here today.
Hi guys.
Hi guys. So tell us, when did you know that you wanted to be a trader?
So basically, I was good in mathematics. I was quite good in mathematics, and I wanted to capitalize that. By with numbers, and I will say because in France we have a graduation at 18.
Okay.
Around 18 you have the graduation, and after that you choose your specialties for you to go in the university or engineering school or business school or law school, it depends. So I think at around 16 or 15 I knew that I wanted to work in finance, because I used to have one of my cousin who was working in finance. He was a trader basically, and he wanted to be a trader, but he had a different role. But he wanted to work in finance, and he gave my brother and I won't say the taste, but maybe the will to work in finance.
Showed you that it's possible.
Exactly.
Okay, so it's that message of hope.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I had my graduation. I graduated at 17, and then I integrate an engineering school. So to go into an engineering school in France, you have several ways. The most common way is to do what we name prep school. So during a prep school, it lasts maybe 2 or 3 years when you prepare yourself to go into an engineering school. So it's very tough school. You work a lot. Basically, the average of resting time, of sleeping time, is around like maybe 4 hours a night. So you work a lot. So I did that during 2 years, and then I get the engineering school that I wanted, where it was specialized in finance, in stats and finance. So I did my engineering school during 3 years. So I specialized myself in financial market, financial engineering, computer science, and different kind of topics that can be very helpful for me to do what I'm doing right now. So it lasted 3 years. Then I did 2 internships to validate my diploma of engineering. And with the 2 internships, it's really good because you meet people, and by meeting people, it's, I think, the best way to get involved in the financial sector.
Okay.
So that's
all right. What does the job entail?
What do you mean?
So what's the duties, responsibility of a trader?
Basically, you have to be transparent in terms of what you trade with your client, of course, because it's not properly I'm working in a bank or in investment banking. I'm working in a brokerage company. So in a brokerage company, it's simple. You make 2 people connected, and you try to find, let's say in a simple way, you find a buyer, you find a seller, you make the connection, and by making the connection and by making the trade done, you take a commission. That's it. Okay. So basically you have to be transparent with the 2 sides. So you have to be transparent with the two sides regarding to the price, the commission. When I say the price, you have to find the best price for your client.
So you're like a guy who has to have a big network.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you have to, someone will say, let's say I'm a guy and I say I've got 50,000, a stock of 50,000 trainers.
Yeah, let's say that.
Then you will know who to phone up and say, listen, I've got a perfect deal for you.
Exactly.
Blah, blah, blah.
Exactly.
But
And
what happens if you can't find somebody?
normally, like, well, it's a good question. As we are divided in desk is a specialized product, so we don't trade anything. Most of the time we're trading a type of product. So basically you most of the time always find someone who wants the product that you want. So what I'm doing, you have two ways to provide a product to the client. You have what we name the secondary market, so the product is already existing in the market. So you find the owner, you find the people who already own some of this product, or you create another one. So what we name the primary market. So you create the product that fit the requirement of the client. So basically, most of the time, you find a way to provide what the client wants. But sometimes the requirement of the client are not possible in the current situation of the market. So you just say that regarding to the current situation of the market, it's quite difficult or almost impossible to find to fit your requirement. And obviously you bring some explanation to make the client understand that his requirement right now, they are not up to date. He maybe needs to wait, or maybe it's impossible to find this kind of to fit this his need or his requirement at the moment.
So what I'm thinking, you have to tell him that in a very diplomatic way.
Yeah.
Otherwise, he'll stop calling you when he's got business.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that. And that kind of thing. So I'm thinking of many films where I see brokerage people, and what you've just described really it makes that vision come to life in that respect. You moved from France to England. Why?
Well, I've always liked London. I think London vibe is different, and
how's the vibe different?
Like here, people are much more open-minded. Like in France, and especially in finance, you have to fit a typical. It's more difficult to get involved in the finance area than in London. Here, it's more easy. It's much more easy.
Are you speaking as a person or as a black person?
As a black person and as a person as well.
Okay.
In both sides.
What kind of hurdles have you had?
What kind of?
Hurdles, obstacles, problems have you had working in France that you haven't had in England?
The fact is that in France, and I think a lot of people will know that, they don't change easily of job. They don't move easily of job in France. Most of people, they have a position during a long time, you know. In England, and I think is that it's a little bit like American people, you can move from job so easily. Like you can get fired today and have another job tomorrow. Like you won't be like so much disappointed or so much affected by it. Like in France, if you get fired, first of all, it's really long to leave your role. You get fired today, you don't leave your role today. You have sometimes you can't get fired like that. In England or in USA, you get fired, you take your stuff, you're off, you know, and you can find easily another job. It's like that. Everything, there is a turnover is so fast, so quick in England, and the fact that most people in France they stay at this role on their position for a long time, it means that they don't the availabilities in that role, and especially in finance, are really short. You don't have a lot. So it's difficult to get involved. Yeah, in the finance area and finance. And in France, they're all asking for you to have some experience. But when you start a job, when you're young, you don't have any experience. Okay. You start a job to get experience, to have experience, and it's different
on apprenticeship, did they ask for experience?
Sorry?
When you did your apprenticeship, did they ask for you to have experience?
No.
Okay.
Because it was an apprenticeship. Okay. So you don't cost a lot.
Yeah, just making sure I understand that it's just relevant to when you're getting paid or paid a substantial amount.
Yeah, it's different. Like you don't get the same pay. So when you're not so expensive, it's okay, and it's apprenticeship. So I won't say you're a slave, but there is a big turnover of internship and apprenticeship. It's like 6 months, 1 year, mostly like a 1 year and a half or 2 years. And if the guy really likes you, and if there is also availabilities, now you can get a permanent contract, a permanent role. But it's really difficult because finance is of course based on your knowledges and how you work. But it's also based on the feeling with the other team. The feeling is really important because you're mostly working like every day during 10, 12 hours and together. So if there is no feeling with your colleague, it will be difficult to be productive in your work.
Yeah, you've got to be the team player and feel like a part of the team.
Exactly.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Do you like the job?
Yeah. It's really interesting.
Would you do it all again the same way you've done it?
Yeah, I won't change anything. And even if I had some disappointment sometimes, I won't change anything because all the disappointment are lessons. I think are lessons. So if I didn't have those disappointment, I would have all the disappointment would have been another lessons. So I don't change anything.
Okay, that's good. What would you say you've learned that you wish you knew when you started?
Very good question. Very, very good question. You have very, very good question. Let me think about it. I don't know. Maybe moving sooner.
Move where?
Moving in London sooner. Because, in France we start working a little bit later than in London.
What, 18, 20?
In France we starting to work in finance. We start to work at, 23, 24. Like our studies are longer. I don't say that it's not good. It's pretty good. Maybe at 23, 24, I should have moved right away in London and tried to move right away in London.
So how many years have you been here?
2 years.
So you graduated when?
I graduated like 4 or 5 years ago. So I spent like 2-3 years in France and in Luxembourg, but
you went to Luxembourg.
Yeah, I work in Luxembourg.
And how did Luxembourg compare to France or Paris and England?
Well, Luxembourg, it pays very, very well. I won't say shit like this. On this, they pay very, very well, so that's very good. But like I'm young, I like big city when you have a lot of activities, when you move a lot. So the problem is that in Luxembourg it's really calm. It's very good to build a family. When you have a family, it's perfect. There is security. It's super safe. It pays well. It's really good. But when you're young, it's really, really boring. Really, really boring. Well, I think it's my point of view. So I can understand that some young people really like Luxembourg. It's just my point of view.
So you was in Luxembourg for how long?
2 years.
Okay, and you've been here for how long?
2 years now.
Okay, so you did 1 year in France.
Yeah, after my studies.
That's interesting. What would you say to your 16-year-old self?
Keep fighting. Don't lose the faith. Always keep fighting. Still stay yourself, because I'm a big fighter. I think I'm a hard worker. I'm not the most intelligent, but I'm working hard.
Yeah.
I'm really working hard. And sometimes when you work hard and you don't see the result, you can have like this low moment when you doubt, not of yourself, but of what you're doing. And I think that it's important to doubt, because it makes you think about another way maybe to reach your goals and to improve yourself. But I think that you don't have to doubt about yourself. So yeah, keep fighting, that's all.
Okay, that's good.
Because work always pays. Sooner or later it pays. Always.
You spoke about you had some troubles earlier on where you talked about both being a black person and being a trader. What kind of troubles have they been, and how have you got over them?
I think that when you're a black man in Europe, it's a fact that you have to work harder than others to have like the same position or to have the same results. It's like that. I think it's a fact for everyone. Like, it's a fact. But as it's a fact, you can't always complain about this. I think that to be able to change it, you have to pass through it. So you have to work harder to have even the same result, or you have to double, triple, or quadruple, like 4 times work harder to get slightly a better result. And once you get your goal, and once you have a great position, maybe you can try to change it. But once you didn't, in any case, you have to do it. In any case, you have to do it. So yeah, I've been like, it was hard for me to have a role or position in finance, because it's easier when you have like contacts in it.
Yeah.
But I didn't have many contacts when I started finance. I didn't have many contacts. So that's why I'm saying, like, as a black person and as a person as well. Because someone who is, I can say it, white, but don't have any contacts in finance, it will be difficult for him as well to work in finance. You need contacts.
How did you make your contacts? Because you didn't have them before. Did your brother, was your cousin or your uncle?
Yeah, my cousin. Yeah, my cousin helped me, and obviously I maintain some contact. I keep some contact from the school, because like I said, my school was specialized in finance, so I had some contacts in finance. And well, having contacts in finance is good, but working in the financial market is another thing. You need contacts in financial market. Finance is a very, very big industry. You have so many areas in finance.
Like what?
I don't know, like if I said the financial market, like most people want to be involved in the front office area, so the proper trading area. But in financial markets, you not only have the front office, you have the middle office, you have the back office, compliant, you have the ITs who is working with or close with the trader. So you have different kind of role, even in the trading area.
Yeah.
All the people, they are not like proper actor in the market.
Yeah. Okay, that's good. You've been a great guest.
Thank you.
You've explained a lot. We appreciate that.
Thank you, man.
What's the impact you want to have in the world?
I think that the aim of every people is to leave a legacy. I don't say an impact on the world, but in an impact of maybe my kids, when I will have some, is the legacy of hard working, focusing, and have the greatest values ever. Like always follow your values, because I always say that desire give a meaning to your life, but values give a meaning to your legacy. And it's the balance to have a very great life and leave something positive to your kids and to the people who surround you.
Okay. Well, you've been a great host.
Thank you, man.
Guest. Same host all the time. And we wish you well.
Thank you, man.
Thanks a lot. We hope you liked that Taxi Chronicles interview. Don't forget to share and subscribe to get the latest episode. Ever considered investing in the continent with the fastest growing economies and population on Earth? The same continent that holds 30% of the world's known natural resources. Listen to our sister podcast, Africa Investor Stories, where you hear real investors with real stories from around the world share their experience of investing in Africa. We post Monday and Thursday at 10 a.m. British Standard Time.